Welcome to this explainer. Look, we are tackling a massive shift today, one that is fundamentally reshaping the enterprise security landscape as we know it. I mean, let's be honest. Most organizations are still looking at AI risk as this abstract future problem, right? Like it's something involving superintelligent, self-aware systems years down the line. But here's the reality check. For threat actors, AI is already a present, highly effective advantage. Today, we're breaking down exactly how artificial intelligence is changing attacker economics. And honestly, it's happening faster than most defense programs can keep up.
So I want to start right here because this is the core reality we absolutely have to confront. The result of AI in the hands of threat actors isn't just that attacks are getting smarter. The result is that attacks are getting cheaper. We really need to shatter this persistent myth that AI cyber risk is just about elite genius-level hackers sitting in a dark room. It's not. It's actually about your average, everyday attackers operating with unprecedented speed and, frankly, minimal cost.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the briefing. We'll start by defining the new cybercrime reality, then we'll analyze those changing attacker economics, look at real-world attack scaling, build out our 4 pillars of defense, and finally, wrap up with a strategic imperative. Modernize, do not panic. Section 1. The new cybercrime reality. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're up against. Think about the old era of manual attacks. Traditional cybercrime demanded highly specialized expertise, it took a huge amount of time, and producing a really polished, convincing attack was incredibly costly. But today, AI-assisted cybercrime introduces a drastically lower skill floor, massive speed, and incredibly cheap production. Now, this doesn't mean every attacker is suddenly a master hacker. What it does mean is that average attackers can now operate with the exact same polish and persistence that used to be strictly reserved for advanced persistent threats.
Section 2. Changing attacker economics.
So, how does this economic shift actually play out? Well, it compounds in 3 pretty brutal steps. First, AI dramatically lowers the barrier to entry, meaning the pool of capable operators just got a whole lot bigger. Second, it drastically multiplies volume. Why? Because when malicious content is this easy to generate, campaigns expand exponentially. And third, it brings unprecedented adaptability. Think about it. If a script breaks or a lure needs to be perfectly tailored to a specific industry, attackers aren't spending days fixing it anymore. They refine their outputs in minutes. Let's really drill down into that lowered barrier to entry. AI essentially acts as the ultimate enabler for individuals who just don't have deep technical skills. A novice attacker can simply prompt an AI system to explain complex exploit steps, rewrite malicious scripts, translate social engineering messages into flawless, localized languages, or, my personal favorite, instantly debug failing code. The technical friction that used to keep people out of the cybercrime game, it's literally evaporating. A script kiddie who previously would have just given up at the very first syntax error now has a relentless, automated, 24/7 tutor helping them bypass your firewall. Section 3. Real-world attack scaling. So what does this look like in the wild? Well, the real challenge facing us isn't just about sophistication anymore. It's about volume and variation. Attackers are using AI to instantly improve their phishing language, draft highly iterative malware scripts, and quickly summarize hours of reconnaissance data on a specific target. They're generating incredibly believable lures at absolute scale. If one phishing message fails to get a click today, an adversary can just use AI to instantly spin up 10 or even 100 perfectly tailored variations. It's a numbers game now. Which brings us to a very uncomfortable but absolutely necessary question. If attack content is becoming infinitely more abundant and vastly more convincing, can we really still rely on traditional perimeter filtering and basic employee awareness training? The short answer, no way. This shift puts immense pressure on our traditional defensive assumptions. We have to pivot away from merely trying to spot the bad emails and move toward a strategy of systemic modernization. Section 4. 4 Pillars of Defense. To fight this kind of automated scale, you absolutely need a resilient architecture. And we break that down into 4 essential pillars: locking down identity resilience, restricting data exposure, implementing runtime monitoring, and conducting continuous exposure validation. Let's walk through exactly what each of these demands from your security program right now. So the crucial point here is identity. We all know that many of the absolute highest impact breaches still trace right back to compromised credentials, tokens, or over-permissioned accounts. But because AI can now flawlessly mimic your executives on audio calls or generate hyper-personalized spear phishing emails, identity resilience has to be your absolute bedrock. We're talking multi-factor authentication, ironclad session controls, strict token hygiene, and the principle of least privilege. These aren't just best practices anymore. They are non-negotiable foundations in this new economic reality. Next, we need to combine the principles of data exposure and runtime monitoring. Think about it. If an attacker actually bypasses your identity controls, what can they actually reach? You need total, uncompromised visibility into your APIs and workflows that are linked to sensitive data. Furthermore, those shiny new enterprise AI systems you're deploying, they can themselves become part of the attack surface. You must monitor AI agent tool integrations, meaning those AI assistants your employees use that plug directly into your company databases. You've got to track inbound prompts, watch outbound actions, and aggressively reduce over-permissioned access. Understanding exactly what an attacker can touch is a critical new operational mandate. The fourth pillar is exposure validation. Listen, most organizations already know they have vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, and sensitive data sprawl. Knowing your weaknesses just isn't enough anymore. The completely unanswered question in most boardrooms is always which of these weaknesses can actually be exploited in ways that hurt the business. Exposure validation means continuously testing realistic attack paths. This way, your security teams can actually focus their limited, valuable time on the control gaps that present actual operational risk rather than chasing ghosts. Section 5. Modernize, do not panic. The organizations that are going to survive and thrive in this new era will be the ones that adopt a disciplined, non-alarmist approach. Systemic modernization is the answer here. You must go ahead and assume a much higher attack volume is coming. It's a given. You must fundamentally improve your identity and data controls. You must actively monitor AI-enabled runtime activity within your own networks. And most importantly, you must continuously test whether your defenses actually hold up under realistic, high-volume conditions. I really want to emphasize this point. Cybercrime does not need to become genius level to become incredibly dangerous to your enterprise. It only needs to become cheaper, faster, and easier to scale. That, right there, is the true fundamental impact of AI on the threat landscape. So I'll leave you with this final, provocative question to evaluate within your own organizations. Will your defense program adapt fast enough to handle this new scale of cheaper, highly iterative cybercrime? It's a lot to think about, but I hope this explainer has given you the structural framework you need to start making those necessary strategic changes today. Thank you so much for joining me, and be sure to subscribe for more practical guidance on secure AI deployment. I'll see you next time.